Procrastination. It's probably the number one term and idea discussed when it comes to being productive and getting things done. And you probably often hear reasons why you need to eliminate it, but have you ever wondered how it works from a mechanics standpoint? Well, that's what I'm going to explain to you in this map so that once you see how it works, that might motivate you more to understand why you need to change it and how to change it. And that's one of the great things about using a metaphor, which in this case is going to be a mountain. And you'll see how this all comes together and really shows the need to change this behavior if you have it. So understand how putting things off is putting you behind in life. First thing is to look at the birth of procrastination. How does that happen? Well, it happens when emails go unanswered. You think, okay, I'm just going to do these emails later. I'm going to take care of this paperwork around me. I don't have time right now to do it, so I'm going to take care of it later. And then important projects, maybe you wait until the last minute to get it done because you think, I'll just do it later. So why do you do that? Well, there are several reasons why you likely do that. But there's one main reason, one overriding factor as to why you have this behavior of putting things off, saying, I'll do it later. And that's because you don't like the feeling of discomfort that comes from doing it right now. You might think, I'm just so tired. There's other things I'd rather be doing. I'd rather be checking out something on YouTube, watching a cat video, whatever it may be. That's typically my downfall. Or you think, okay, the conditions aren't right now to perfectly do this. And so that's discomfort. And so you put it off. And you fool yourself, really, into believing that you'll feel better sometime down the road to do that task. And so you put it off. And that's what you convince yourself. But here's what happens when you put those things off, and especially when you continue to put them off. And that is that you create mountains. So when you put things off, you're essentially building a mountain that you're going to eventually have to overcome at some point. You're going to have to climb this. And you're building it each time you put that task off, whatever it may be. And here's the crazy thing. The more that you put it off, the more you put off these tasks, the more you keep piling on top of them. So this little mountain becomes this big mountain, and it snows to boot, which makes the mountain even bigger. And as the mountain continues to get bigger, here's where the vicious cycle sets in, because as it gets bigger, you look at it and you think, oh my goodness, what have I created here? I've created a monster, and I don't want to climb this ever. And so you keep putting it off, and you just keep throwing stuff on top of that mountain. It gets bigger, and your level of discomfort of doing it gets bigger and bigger, and it's this vicious cycle that continues. But here's the reality. The reality is eventually you're going to have to climb that mountain. So at some point in the future, you're going to have to take care of everything that you're putting off. And guess what? That's when you're going to have to climb that mountain. And climbing mountains is not easy. I mean, I've climbed hills. I've never climbed a mountain, but I can tell you climbing a hill, as you probably know, if it's a decent sized hill, is exhausting. It's hard work, and sometimes it can be really painful. But that's what the eventuality is if you continue to put things off. Now, here's what a skilled procrastinator does, though. They'll work real hard. They'll realize, okay, I've got to get this mountain taken care of. And so they start climbing up it. They start taking care of all these things that they've been putting off. And then they get to the top. And then they look down and they think, oh, whew, everything from here is downhill. And so what do? They start building the next mountain. This is where procrastination sets in, because they're saying, okay, I got all that hard work done. And now I can take it easy. And now I can start my next pile because I just conquered this pile. I can do that. And so they start the process over and over again. And throughout their lives, they just simply go on to create these mountains over and over again. Now, there's a better way, though. There's a better way than procrastination, believe it or not. And it's what I like to call walking over small hills. So there is a lot less discomfort that comes from walking over tiny hills, and that means doing tasks as they need done. So each one of these little tiny hills that you see here is a task that needs done. And so there's a little tiny effort that goes into overcoming these and crossing this. The ground isn't just straight here because these tasks require something of us to complete. But it's a lot easier climbing these tiny little hills, getting things done when they need done, than it is trying to climb mountains over and over and over again. This doesn't require as much effort. Not only that, but you can see this little puff of wind behind this fellow that's running. Yeah, he's running. You can see that that's the motion that he's taking because he's able to travel through life a lot faster because he's not having to climb these mountains constantly in his life due to procrastination and putting things off. So you move through life a lot faster, where this guy travels this distance in a day. If he was up here climbing mountains, he might start here and get here and start the next day and get here and get here. You move through life so much slower by doing things this way. Here, you accomplish so much more and achieve more goals. So how to use this? What I want you to do is identify an area in your life where you're building mountains right now. It could be your bills, could be tasks, could be things around the house that you're just putting off. Identify something some place where you are building a mountain that you're going to eventually have to climb. Next, commit to eliminating that mountain. Climb up it, get all that hard work, do it, and it's going to be painful, it's going to be exhausting, but do it. And then set aside specific time in your schedule to take care of those kinds of things on an ongoing basis so that you can run over them while they are still small hills and they don't grow into mountains. So take care of them on a more consistent basis. And then once you've got that one area of your life taken care of and the mountains worked on and you're running at a faster pace, then move on to eliminating another mountain in a different area of your life. And hopefully this helps you to understand why procrastination is not only a bad idea, but how putting things off is really putting you behind in life, and how you can speed through life so much faster by getting things done when they need done.